Okay, alright, let's see. Looks like we are live here and we're feeding out to the people and the folks in all the people in the internet world. We are live on Utreon. The reason why we're live on Utreon because we could pull out stuff like this, which, believe it or not, even though this looks like a stock, it's actually a complete gun. And if you keep looking in the show, you'll see that. But we are on Utreon because YouTube will not allow us to hold these freedom sticks while we're live. So if you're looking at this later on YouTube, you're joining us via audio on the podcast. If you want to be part of the live shenanigans over here, you've got to go to Utreon, look for the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. That's the way to do this. And of course, you can find out all these things on hankstrange.com. Lola is always updating that. I know someone was asking me today about different links and things like that. Lola's working on putting up different links, and you guys can find stuff over there. All right, that being said, I will load my guests up into the window. Here we go. And I'm going to hit the open. Let's do this.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation. Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Franklin Armory. Franklin Armory provides 100% US-made firearms and awesome binary option triggers. Their focus and purpose is to provide freedom tools to all Americans, especially those in not-so-free states. So when you're in the market, please consider Franklin Armory. All right, so here we go. We are live. I think everyone's been here before, but you got to do the jazz hands. I don't care how tough you are, Perry. There you go, jazz hands. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on because we are live, and this is episode 891 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Our guest tonight, there he goes, Perry Orth. Right? Did I get it right?
You got it. You nailed it.
Of Right to Bear Insurance is joining us. There he goes. And let's see, we've also got Babyface P of Babyface. Do you have your own insurance, Babyface P?
No. Well, I have car insurance and homeowners insurance, but not my own.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's only because I have to.
Yeah. You should have Right to Bear also. Everybody.
We're working on it.
Come on, Perry. Yeah.
Him and I have already met. We talked about it. We're working. Marley and I have discussed it a little bit.
I thought for sure after we talked, you would have been on the internet, sealing the deal.
We have been this close. I've been this close to just hitting the button, like the checkout button, multiple times, and then I'm like, wait, we have this other thing come. Hold on. So I just need to basically.
Yeah, Perry. Basically, some other night vision stuff came out.
Shut it. Shut it.
So that's what's. And listen, but look, that's reality, and that's why we're doing this show. I thought it would be cool. I had a conversation with Perry at the gathering recently, and what's the name of the other guy that you work with? Forgive me,
Frank Cannon.
There you go, Frank Cannon. How can I forget that? I like that name, Frank Cannon. Perfect. It's badass name right there. So I was talking to you guys, and between you and Lola and everything, we decided that we'll all sit down here and have Perry come back on and explain Right to Bear to you guys, because there's other things out there, and there's other stuff that we do have, and I think that there's differences from what I understand just talking to Frank and Perry between Right to Bear and other stuff out there. And I'm going to have multiple things because not everything exactly is the same, and there's different circles, and I want to have different circles even if in some places they cross, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes
perfect sense.
Yes. So we're going to get all into that, and that's what we've also got Babyface P with us. Perry's going to be here for the first half of the show, and Patrick and I are going to be like really
closing it out.
Yeah. Once Perry leaves, we're gonna tear every.
Yeah.
we're not trying to get Perry in any kind of trouble. Oh well, I don't know. Inevitably, I can't promise you, Perry. Go ahead.
Before I hop off, I definitely want to dive into the Elon Musk and Twitter situation with you
Oh,
guys.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just got
strong.
even
Like,
more interesting today.
Yeah.
we gotta dive into it before
Yeah.
I go. I don't
Yeah.
think
I don't
the
know what's
guys
gonna
that,
happen there. This is getting very hot, very
Yeah,
spicy.
let's not. Yeah. Let's do. Someone remind us to get into that before Perry goes, because if we get into it now, then the whole show will be talking about that.
Yeah.
So, Perry, tell us what's going on with you, man,
yeah.
and tell the folks out there first of all, like who you are, what you do, what is Right to Bear Insurance. Let's start right there.
Yeah, so my name's Perry Orth. I'm with Right to Bear Insurance. So we're the newest self-defense insurance player in the market. We started back in November, and kind of how all of this came about. I was actually the insurance agent for Palmetto State Armory. I'm actually here in Columbia, South Carolina, at the University of South Carolina's athletic department building. Just got out of a meeting, but had not Right to Bear related. Maybe one day, but yeah, so we were reviewing some liability concerns for PSA, and we came across the idea, like, why are you guys not offering your own form of self-defense insurance? Not even in a pitch, like, hey, bring me on your team. We got called in the next day, and they said they wanted to start a company, and lo and behold, Right to Bear came about, and we teed it up to launch right at Black Friday to kind of do a little bit of a promotional giveaway. At the time we were doing the customized lowers with, you had the choice of a lower or a discount. So, yeah, we're now almost 5 months in, which is pretty exciting. Golly, we're growing like crazy, which is amazing. I think what it showed is the need and I don't want to say the wrong word. I think just really the need and the want for this type of insurance. And so what this type of insurance is, when you think self-defense, like if I hit somebody over the head, and what is the insurance actually covering? Well, more times than not, that if you use a firearm in self-defense now, whether a firearm, a bat, your hand, your knee, this little don't step on the wet floor sign, the little mop sign, if you hit somebody over the head and knock them out, right? You're going to get sued. And if you, not only will you get sued, you might go to jail as well. And a lot of times it's both. Firearms and this coverage that covers the attorney fees. And then, heaven forbid, if you were to lose in a civil case and you owed a lump sum of money, we're actually going to cover those damages as well. So, really, really interesting stat here. I don't think we shared this on the last time we talked. One of the CWP instructors for PSA, he's close friends with an attorney friend of his, and the attorney told him that if he has somebody reach out to him that had been in a firearm incident, that he won't even take the case without $65,000 up front.
Wow. Okay.
That for me was like just so eye-opening. It was so eye-opening to hear that you're going to need at least that much money up front just to get coverage, let me run that back, just to get an attorney to defend you, let alone you have to sit there and try to fight on your own or get a court-appointed attorney. So where Right to Bear comes in, Right to Bear was formed to protect Palmetto State Armory's customers, and then now to the rest of the nation. No different than, I know a lot of the individuals listen have probably heard of USCCA, US Law Shield. It's really kind of funny because we all are doing the same thing, but we go about it a different way. Whereas USCCA has an association where you have all these extra perks with an insurance policy. US Law Shield is basically a legal, prepaid legal service that, if you're ever in an incident, they'll give you an attorney, and they'll you'll utilize their services during the, a court case, if you ever need it. So there are some things that are similar, Hank, like you talked about. There are some things that are blended together. There's I'll tell you, there's only one perfect solution, and that's Right to Bear. But there is there are a few things that we are looking to improve on our plan to make us the best in the country. But yeah, we're excited, man. I think as we continue to evolve and get our name out in the market and continue to look at ways that we can truly become the best of the best in the industry, it's only going to be positive from here. But I think the most important part for us is that we actually get to work in an area that we're passionate about. We're Second Amendment guys. We're insurance guys. We believe in protecting people when they need us most. And later on, I want to talk about we actually had our first incident about 3 weeks ago, and
Interesting. I want to hear about this.
yeah, being able to hold this customer's hand through the process. Fortunately, there was no suit brought up, but the process of I've been in an emergency. Who do I call? What comes next? And I want to share how we handled it as well, because I thought it was our first real life experience where somebody, literally had an accidental discharge, shot a bullet through their wall into their neighbor's condo. Fortunately, nobody was home, but the guy was literally trembling in fear, thinking like, "Oh my God, I could have just shot somebody. Like, what comes next?"
Yeah,
that's where Right to Bear comes in, and that's what makes me and my job so special every day.
Yeah, I think when we were talking, one of the things I was saying to you is that, obviously you guys are relatively new. You've been doing this here. I think it's a good thing that that you're partnered with PSA. I think they're doing a lot of things, and it's of course a big positive, right? But at the end of the day, what's really important, especially from my position, if there's folks out there who hear about you through us and then they sign up for this. I don't want to do something where it's just like, oh, this is awesome, sign up for it and get it. I really care about the money that folks out there wind up spending, especially if they hear about something from us. And that rubber is going to meet the road one day, and it's really important to know and see how you guys deal with things, right?
Yeah.
So that's the important part of it. Before we get into that, I don't know if Patrick has any questions.
No.
Okay.
No, nothing offhand. I do want to hear about the incident, though. That's
right.
Interesting. Because last time Perry and I talked, he said that nobody had used the service yet. So that's an interesting update.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just dive into it now. Ironically, it was on the Sunday that we were at the gathering. So the way that we had set up Right to Bear was that if there is an incident, we have a 24/7 hotline. First. It's a specific number, and the first thing that you're supposed to do if you've been in an incident, and when you sign up for Right to Bear, all the information is in your member portal. You're going to call the hotline. The hotline's going to answer and say, "Have you been in an emergency?" That's the first thing. The only thing you need to say to the hotline is yes or no. Don't elaborate. Yes or no. If yes, the next question they'll ask you is, do you have an attorney that you want to speak with that we should get connected with, or do you want a Right to Bear appointed attorney? We give you that choice to choose whether your best friend, next door neighbor, you would want to defend you, or you don't have anybody in your network contacts and you want a Right to Bear specific attorney.
Okay.
Fortunately, actually they did. So we got them pushed. Guy said, "Hey, I had just shot, was cleaning my gun, and there was a bullet in the chamber, didn't realize it, shot the gun. He's living in a condo, bullet goes through the wall, in through his neighbor's wall. Actually think it cleared through his neighbor's condo into the other condo."
Nope.
So
no, that's uncomfortable.
So he literally calls like we listened to the recording, like he is like full-blown panic. Right. Now, this is just an accidental discharge thing. He hadn't even shot somebody, so I can't even imagine what that process would be like.
Yeah, he had no idea what exactly he's done at this point. And if I could just go back for a second here, there's probably a couple of things in this that I'm sure people right now are screaming at the screen or even wondering. So first of all, you say that when people call up, you just want to know yes or no of whether or not they were in an emergency. Is that because people calling up, that phone call is recorded and could be used as evidence in court?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so you want to keep it as short and sweet, yes or no. End it right there.
Yes.
That way, attorney-client privilege. After that, yes, I've been an emergency.
Yep.
The next call goes over to an attorney. That way, boom, attorney-client privilege is immediately established.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like we're breaking up a little bit. It looks like we're breaking up here a little bit. I don't know if that's. Yeah, hold on a second, Perry. Sorry.
Literally.
Okay, I don't know if you're hearing me. Yeah, I think we were breaking up a little bit here. I'm not sure if that's me or not. I'm pretty sure it's not Patrick because his internet is super amazingly awesome.
Not me.
Yeah. So I thought Lola was going to come and check on my signal here, make sure I'm good.
Looks like I've got 4. According to my Wi-Fi screen, it looks like I've got the full juice here.
Oh, okay.
It's coming from the host. It's coming from within the house.
Well, I'm in the van. First of all, I'm in the van.
Coming from within the van.
But what's happening for me over here is that both of you guys are dialed in here, and then I'm sending the signal in and out. A whole bunch of different things are going on. So I have contacted Lola to come and check on it for me. So just please do bear with me. If any of you out there have a wife, if you ask her to do something, she will say yes and then find 10 other things to do on the way to get over there. And I'm sure I'll get in trouble because I'm even saying this to you, but basically that's how things go down around here. Yeah. So I interrupted you. So first thing to know for folks out there is if you you get into something like this, whether it's, I'm assuming, this is all across the table for anything that you're using. You want to be very careful with what information you put out. And then the other thing that came up for me is that you were saying that people have a choice. I think with some services that exist out there, and I'm not knocking anyone, I think there's just differences. I really want to kind of point those out for people and help people make a decision.
Like in-network and out-network. They have like network attorneys, things like that.
Yeah, I think this is an important distinction of what right to bear is, right? Because some places you're basically doing a prepayment plan for attorney coverage where you have to go with the attorneys within that system. But right to bear is not that, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, right to bear is not. There's 2 main differences when it comes to an a prepaid legal service like a U.S. Law Shield. Is you actually can't get coverage with them unless you use their attorney. So we're an insurance policy. So what that means is that it doesn't matter. We're providing first dollar coverage to whoever your attorney is in that process, right? So it's like if you were in a car accident, right? Travelers isn't going to require you to use their attorneys, right? They're going to give you that option, but they're not going to require you to do it. And then the second thing is that those prepaid legal services, they don't offer civil damages coverage. And what that is so say you were in civil court, you're not going to jail, but you shot the dude in the shoulder, and hospital bills and mental anguish and all that was $150,000, right? The prepaid legal service is only for attorney fees, not for any damages or judgments. See, that's a huge difference. Our insurance product, not to get insurance nerd on you, is to indemnify. Indemnify means to make you whole, as if the incident had never happened. So our policy is going to cover you not only the defense costs, but then the damages if that were to come up.
Yeah.
So those are 2 major distinctions.
Yeah, I think it's an important difference. Everything like this is going to have different things, and what I'm trying to do here is find out for myself, and then find out for you guys, and help everyone out there. Make a decision on something. Now, obviously, we have a relationship with the guys from Right to Bear, so of course, that needs to be right up there. They don't sponsor us or anything like that, but if you guys, I think Lola is going to have the link out there for you. I don't know if we have a specific link or anything like that. to sign up. But I think we're going to have some special things we're going to offer to people. So I don't want to just like say, oh, hey, go sign up for this thing. I want to help you guys out. So if you have questions, hit us with that, and we'll get into it. Okay, so I know I cut you off. I don't know if Patrick had a question there about the beginning.
Not
of this?
any questions. It's just I've never been an insurance person. I don't personally. You have to have it because the state requires it for certain things like driving your car, think about homeowners insurance, stuff like that. And it can be a good idea depending on if you have tons of money. It might not be a good idea. But this is one of those things that watching the cases that have come down the pike lately and how prosecutors are becoming more and more political and not just looking at a case and going, yeah, we may not win this one, but we want to take him to trial anyways because the pain is in the process. The punishment is in the process of taking him to trial, racking up easily $250,000 right off the bat, and they know that.
They're not looking at justice, man. They're thinking about, hey, what if I want to run for governor? Or
I'm going to have to...
that's it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
The woman that took the McCloskeys to trial used it immediately after for marketing material to try to raise money. So, again...
isn't that what's going on? Isn't that what's going on with, I think, the NRA in New York, but as well as the New York Attorney General, right, going after Trump. Isn't that what?
Basically,
are those people running for office?
Yeah,
I would say so.
Yeah. So.
But it's
that's the problem, guys. Is in that if you want to nail it down, in our market research that we've continuously done, the people that need right to bear are not the folks in South Carolina. They need it too. The South Carolina, Florida.
Walther Arms has been making concealed carry handguns for over 90 years, starting with the PPK. Today, Walther is based in the good old US of A and still builds quality firearms like the PPQ and PDP for personal defense and competition. So when you're in the market, please consider Walther Arms. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Walther Arms. My bad. That's my bad there. I am not paying attention to that countdown clock. Sorry. Too many things going on. I blame Lola.
Well, yeah, yikes. Well, I think,
she's not here now. She left. No, it's not Lola's fault. I wasn't paying attention. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You got interrupted there.
I think that it all of this conversation, it's all positive because, you want to bring light to what really happens. And what I was saying is the people that desperately, desperately need right to bear and this type of insurance are our friends in Oregon, California, Illinois,
New York City,
New York, Washington, and New Jersey. Unfortunately, we can't offer our product in those states. The attorney generals have already cut us out, not just right to bear, but this type of insurance in general. Yeah, it's crazy.
They can dictate what sort of insurance is offered to a person that wants to pay for it?
Yep.
That's insane.
That can't be. That just
That seems illegal.
Well,
these guys are doing lots of illegal or I don't want to say unconstitutional, but definitely an infringement.
That is what it is, hey?
Yeah, it's definitely an infringement of your civil rights and civil liberties.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because it's just a form of gun control, and it's like if we can cut this out, then folks won't want to buy a gun.
Look,
right?
I know what you're going to say, Hank. Look at the New York subway incident and the proof that the cops are not there to protect you. They're there to clean up the mess. I hate to say it, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
they can't have a cop on every train going through New York. It's not possible.
No, it's not possible. And our friend Luis Valdez of GOA Florida put up an article talking about just that. And he was a police officer. He was in law enforcement here in Florida for years, and recently retired. But you know what? The other thing I was going to say, Patrick, on that, I mean, I don't want to stick to this point, but the other thing about California, for example, is these guys are trying to force people to have insurance. So why would they deny people having insurance? I don't get it. They want to force you. You can't have guns unless you have insurance, but we don't want you to have insurance. What?
Last time Perry and I talked, right to bear is classified as the proper insurance for this forced insurance in California, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cali is one that will allow you to have.
I'm sorry. So Cali was not on your list. You just said. What were the states on the list you just said?
New York,
New York,
New Jersey, and Washington.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. You want to?
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some questions here before we go on. Let me get these questions because, we're asking folks to hit us with questions. So just figure out exactly where we are with this right now. 42 chilled. Well, by the way, just shout out to everyone. Ask questions. This is a great time to do it. We've got Perry for the first hour here, which is already... Because Patrick is basically talking the whole time and burning right through it.
It's going quick. It's going fast.
Yeah, so I blame Patrick.
It's the chips. The chips are keeping.
We let this guy
time
on
going.
here.
Oh boy, I'm wasting more time right now. 42 Chill says, "Who are the expert witnesses for right to bear?" I think that's a good question.
That's a good question. So the way the expert witness coverage works, and I appreciate you going to our website because I know that's how you found that. So you can choose an expert witness. So what that coverage is that, say that I have an incident, somebody comes into my house, and then I shoot them with a Palmetto State Armory dagger, right? If you haven't shot it, highly recommend you buy it and go do that. I know I'm a bit of a homer, but do it anyway.
Subtle plug.
Subtle plug for the home team.
Right. Okay.
but yeah. So what I would do, and say some left prosecutor was like, "Why did you go and get a PSA dagger? You didn't need to do that. That's way too much." Blah blah blah. You could come up with a billion reasons why. So then I would go to Palmetto State Armory, go to one of the engineers and hire them as an expert witness to testify on my behalf of, no, this is how the gun was made. This is why it was made. This is, the caliber it shoots with.
So it's not a locked in pool, which I think is a good thing to me.
Yeah, not a locked in pool. No. It's your choice.
Okay.
And that's a coverage that's already built in with the premium that you pay. So the shoe-ins that you get with the premium that's listed is you get criminal and civil defense, you get civil damages coverage, you get multi-state coverage, you get expert witness coverage, and you get psychological support. So that would be if you had your shooting and you were just shook to your core and you needed somebody to kind of hold your hand through that process of, I literally just watched myself shoot somebody to death or to the ground, and you just need some counseling to kind of get you through something. So
you will. It's not going to be the easy. It's not going to be as easy or what any of us think it is. So
yeah,
I mean, what that kind of there's some other questions, but what that kind of, to come back to something that you mentioned before, so you can pick your lawyer. So you can say, hey, I think this is the best defense lawyer in Florida, let's say, and now if your lawyer is helping find all these experts and etc., that could get expensive. Is there a limit on how much you guys are going to pay that lawyer? Is that something that gets set up when we're signing up? How does that work?
So we have 4 tiers of coverage. Each tier has their own limit of insurance. So you have what's called an per incident and then an aggregate total. The aggregate total would go towards the expert witness fees, the court fees, the attorney fees, all of that. So our bronze plan is $10 a month, and it's just to give you some coverage. You get up to $50,000 of coverage. The silver plan gives you up to $500,000 of coverage. I'm drawing a blank. The gold plan gives you up to $1 million, and platinum's up to $2 million. So we believe that, and I'll tell you just through my research, that the silver plan actually for your normal, not that there is such thing as a normal run-of-the-mill self-defense case, but the average incident ranges between $100,000 and $300,000. So your silver plan at $20 a month is going to cover you pretty much soup to nuts. Now, if you're somebody of high net worth, that if you had an incident and you are going to get pulled into a case and there's a potential of it getting political, you're probably going to want to look towards the gold or the platinum plan. You look at the Rittenhouse case. I mean, his attorney fees were well over $1 million. So somebody like a case like that's going to be platinum. A platinum plan would be more beneficial for somebody of higher net worth. But little old me, I got myself and my wife on the silver plan. You can add your spouse for $5 a month. So we're paying $25 a month for $500,000 of coverage for both me and my wife.
Okay, yeah. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to up this once you get into trouble. So you want to think about, you want to think about, what you guys could afford, and then do what you can afford, and at least you have something. Having something to help you is better than nothing. Go ahead.
Something to think about is, if you have assets, that's a big thing to look at. Is do you have a ton of assets, or are you living, under a bridge? If you're living under a bridge, most likely attorneys are not going to take up the time to come after you because you have nothing for them to get. But if you have a whole pool of assets, literally nice house, well, here in Florida, house wouldn't count because it can't take it, but cars, boats, RVs, anything.
I mean, if you have multiple houses,
it doesn't matter. The only thing they can't touch is so random. I'm going to sound like such an insurance nerd here. The only thing that they can't touch in the court of law is the cash value of a whole life insurance policy. They can take your 401k. They can take your IRAs. They can wipe your ass dry. Sorry for the curse.
And that's what attorneys are. I don't don't want to say attorneys are parasites, but if you look at what they're going to do, they're going to do an analysis of, 1, can we win the case? 2, can we settle out of court with this person? And 3, what kind of assets do they have? What can we go after? Is it worth our time for the $50 they have in their bank account and their old beat-to-shit Toyota Hilux? Or do they have, a couple $1 million worth of assets that we can take them for?
Yeah.
So that's where insurance.
That's just the civil side of things. I mean, this is not even talking about the criminal side.
That's only assuming that you were completely in the right on the civil case. Or on a criminal case.
Yes. Yeah. Someone out there was asking about whether or not I can make the time blink. No, I don't have that feature right now, making it blink. Sorry, I do have the time at different colors. Like I put a bunch of bright neon colors in there, but
I still don't pay attention.
Yeah, I'm a dude, so I get distracted really easy.
But that's one of the big things right now with. You can't defend yourself in one of these. You can't go pro bono, or not pro bono, per se litigant. There's no way in a self-defense case you're going to be per se where you're defending yourself. There's no way you're going to find a lawyer that isn't going to charge you.
And don't rely
15 hour plus.
Right. Please do not rely on the thing that's happening now in our world. That everything that happens to people, they're like, oh my God, please help me with this GoFundMe because
take care of yourself first.
I didn't think about this ahead of time. Like I get it, it happens. There's folks who we know that it happens to, and we try to help them out. But there's no guarantee that anyone's going to help you when you're in that situation. Or if you look at like what's happening now with a lot of these places, like GoFundMe, if they go, oh, this is a gun thing? No, we're not going to let you help this person.
They'll cut you off.
Yeah.
Real fast.
The other thing too that to talk on that point is, you take the insurance coverage out of it. You've got a company like us who is owned by Palmetto State Armory, okay, that has partnered with a pro Second Amendment insurance carrier that has aligned themselves with firearm specific attorneys. Yes, we do give you the option to choose an attorney, but we have all of the big guns. We've got all the resources to get you the best of the best attorney to defend your case, to keep you out of jail, to keep you from losing $500,000, to keep your life from going an average everyday life to turning it upside down. So yeah, you think, oh yeah, I could go and do a GoFundMe and raise $100,000 and pay for that. No. Not only are you going to get the standout insurance coverage, but you're going to get knockout attorneys that can help you, that are going to crush. I'm telling you, they're going to crush your run-of-the-mill left prosecutor just trying to make a quick buck. When you've got guys that literally can travel the country, hang their license with other firms because this is all they do, those are the guys that you want on your team, and those are the guys that we have on our team, which is a huge sell, even more so than the limits of coverage that we offer.
Okay, very cool. Now I'm gonna go to another question after I do something very selfish here, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. Lola's in the chat. She says anyone that signs up for a policy from this show will receive an additional $40 discount code to PSA, and then Lola put a link there.
That's one of the things that you can get some money towards a gun if you want.
Well, let me clarify that. You automatically get a discount from PSA with the purchase of our policy.
Okay.
The special for tonight's show is you are going to get an additional discount to PSA.com if you purchase a policy after watching this show. So, for example, if you buy a silver policy, you get $40 discount at PalmettoStateArmory.com, right? Well, if you buy a silver plan after watching this show, you're going to get that normal $40 discount already. You're going to email that confirmation code to me or to Hank or to Lola, or they're going to get it to us, and then we're going to send you that additional discount. So it's a way that we can continue to spread freedom by giving you more resources at a place like a Palmetto State Armory, and then obviously we're here to defend you should you ever need us. And then it's a good give back to your audience. And I know I've met so many of them, of all the different shows that I've done. I think literally everyone said, "Oh, I remember when you were on Hank Strange's podcast or his live show back in December." I mean, Babyface, that's when we talked. I mean, you said, "Yeah, I saw you on Hank's show." So,
yes, and for the folks out there that like Babyface, you're going to be planning on offering some stuff as well.
I do. I need to sign up myself, so I have some stake in the game. I feel bad marketing to people if I don't have any stake in the game, so I plan on signing up. Right. Because I do think this is an important thing. If you're the type of person that walks out of your house every day with a gun on you, which is how I am, I think this is something that's important.
Yes. And so a couple of things here for the people. So this is not just for the people watching us live, right? Because it's going to be live here on Utreon. We're going to put it up on YouTube. And then also there's audio. And I might even pull out a snippet or something and throw that up. And for myself, and I'll say this for Babyface, I know that he doesn't, the way that he doesn't like to try to get people to help him to do what he needs to do. But everyone needs this help. We're not the only people doing these kinds of things. We need money to do this, guys. So I mean,
and this is again, it's not like you're selling ice to Eskimos. This is one of those things that if you were to get into the wrong situation, not even by your own fault, you just happen to be somewhere unlucky, and you have to shoot somebody to protect yourself or somebody else.
Yeah.
You could quickly go broke. Very quickly. It is terrifying how fast. You could even flat out go broke.
Even in things that aren't that bad. So I don't know exactly or how much we're going to get into what happened with this guy with the accidental discharge, but that could have gone bad in so many ways. But trust me, people. Yeah. People coming home though.
Discharge. Yeah. You could have easily. There was an article. I remember Rob Mills was interviewed by the Jacksonville news place because there was somebody negligently discharged in their, I don't know what they were in, and it went through the wall and killed the lady next door. Yeah. So no, it absolutely could have gone sour for that person.
The worst thing that could happen is that it goes through and, God, I hate even saying this, but it goes through and hits somebody and it doesn't kill them. You
were on the hook for a lot.
You're on the hook for the damages and the rehab, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, trust me, so I'm pretty sure that this guy's neighbors, even if his neighbors are gun people, and there's a bullet hole or a couple of bullet holes because you said it went through one thing and went into another one. If there's a couple of bullet holes in your apartment, you're not going to be happy. No, I'm a gun guy. I don't want to live next to that dude anymore.
Nope.
So I'm done with that. So there's gonna be problems that come out of it, and it's a lot of stuff for you to have to deal with. And so even in a situation like that where we're saying, man, but this is like the best scenario of this guy after he doesn't do the right stuff to make sure that gun is clear. I mean, still, I
don't want to give anybody any ideas, but there could still be potential civil litigation if somebody really wants to get litigious.
All day, man.
For this, any number of potential civil litigations that they could.
Yeah.
Civil cases.
I don't want to live next to you anymore. I'm just telling you that right now.
That's how I am. I don't like living next to someone.
Let me tell you how this. Let me tell you how this goes. And I've been insured. Not that I'm this giant insurance wizard, but we see it all the time in the auto business, right? Guy gets hit by. I used to insure trucking companies in my old job, and so we saw this all the time. Trucking company, trucking client of mine, one of the trucks, fender bender, which sounds funny in a truck, but you get in fender benders in some of those instances. They come out, they're like, "Oh, I'm fine, we're good." A week later, we're getting a letter in the mail from an attorney saying, "Oh, his or her neck's all out of whack, and they're hurt, and their car's damaged, and now they're having to go see this specialist for their back, and they're coming after you for $100,000. Well, that's a truck, let alone a gun. What if you got the freaking left-wing psychopath, purple and all sorts of different colored hair? No offense if anybody's listening with purple hair. That's the triggered crowd in my network.
Right. Okay.
You get somebody over there next door, and they have an issue, and they go, "Oh my God, a bullet hole. Mental anguish, I can't see straight." Boom, civil litigation right there. Now you're having to pay out money. And at that point, if you are in California, they can literally name their price on what they sue you for.
Yeah, that's
$250 grand. Boom.
That's just a 1 minute warning. And let me just show you guys some pictures real quick. Well, actually, let me tell you this. My son the other day called me, my older son. And I could tell something was wrong from when he called me, but he said, and then also he said, "Okay, first thing, Dad, I'm okay." I was like, "Oh crap."
Yeah.
So
start off.
He was telling me that he was driving his girlfriend's car on the highway, I-75, so at least doing 70, and someone hit them in the back and made them, like someone in a pickup truck hit them in the back of the car and made the car spin out on the highway and hit multiple things. When we come back here from this break, I'm going to show you guys some pictures from that. And he said he was okay, but, later on, things could happen. So, it's not even someone being terrible about it. We'll be right back. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like High Point Firearms and Full Forge Gear, bags and gear for everyday life. Did you know High Point is an American family-owned and operated company located in Ohio with over 30 years of manufacturing experience? High Point is proud to be the home of the working man's gun and your source for affordable handguns and carbines with a lifetime warranty. So when you're in the market, please consider High Point. Okay, so just to show you guys here, I'm going to throw some pictures up. This is the back of the car, and you can see where they got hit right there. So pickup truck, and the guy kept going, by the way, so the cops have not found this guy. So they hit them there and then made them spin out, and they hit the medium. So, where was the front? Yeah, here we go. That's the front damage of what happened. So thankfully, they're okay. But and I was like, "Listen, are you sure you're okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I have a headache and all that kind of stuff." And every time I've spoken to him, he's telling me that he has a headache. But yeah, things can still happen later. I don't want anything to happen. I could tell he's pretty shook up. If you get hit on the highway and you start, I think they just got lucky, because honestly, on a highway, especially, probably for them, they were lucky that it wasn't a lot of traffic. Because I think that
75 is not exactly the most. That's typically a pretty traffic-heavy interstate.
That could have been really, 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 really bad. So I don't know why my light keeps dying over here, but I'm going to try to hook that up. So yeah, I'm glad they're okay and they survived. I know it kind of shook him up, when you're young. My son's like 23, so he thinks he's invincible.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure from the way that he was talking to me that thing shook his invincible gene. Just a little bit. That invincible gene got shooken up a little bit. So I'm really happy that he's okay, but things will happen to you later. So
Yeah.
later on, these people, like anything could happen in that apartment. These people can decide, oh no, we're scared, we've got nightmares, we're worried about this, our kids are worried about this, and we could be cynical and say, oh, that's not true. They just want money, but it could be a reality. I would not live next to that person anymore. Obviously, that's someone who used right to bear. I'm glad for them. It's a good reason, and accidents like that can happen. We are all subject to that if we forget that we need to be diligent when we're handling firearms.
Correct.
Right? So,
Correct.
I'm not sure where Babyface went. I've got a couple of things. Edward Brower is in the chat, the CEO of Utreon, so shout out to him. He just typed Constitution in there, so for everyone who was complaining that we couldn't type in Constitution, congratulations, you can now type in Constitution. That's because there's a TIT in Constitution. So there was a thing. So anyway, that's all fixed apparently right now. Right to Bear needs to get a Utreon channel, by the way.
Yes,
Harry.
we do.
You guys
You're
need
right,
to sign
we
up
do.
for Utreon and get on that. There's some other questions. Someone I need to go back here a little bit. Someone was expert witnesses. Someone was asking about what are the limits. Shelly Fungus wants to know what are the limits at right to bear. So
So the limits of insurance, we just touched on that, but it may have been a new guest on the show. So we have 4 tiers of coverage. I'm going to see if y'all can look at this. So you have your bronze, silver, golden, platinum. Those 4 tiers. Your bronze plan of $50,000 of coverage. Your silver plan is $500,000 of coverage. Gold is $1 million. Platinum is $2 million. And so the $2 million, what that covers, it covers civil defense costs. It covers criminal defense. It covers if you have to pay out a civil judgment. It covers expert witness. It also covers our policy includes multi-state coverage. So whether you live in South Carolina and travel to Florida for the weekend, you have an incident in Florida, our policy is automatically going to cover you.
what if I live in Florida and travel to New York, let's say?
Yeah, we'll according to the policy, the way we have read it and understood it, we would defend you. We just can't sell the policy to New York residents.
Oh.
But I would still have problems in New York, though, because
Still going to have major issues in New York.
Yeah. But if I'm driving through there's a whole bunch of things that can get complicated. Yeah.
Technically, you're in the right. I wouldn't screw with it.
Yeah. And this is only this is only if you're using a firearm, right?
No, not anymore. So we actually got that changed to all legal weapons. So that bat, knife, any owned property. That way, we're not pigeonholing ourselves to simply firearms.
So I could be in New York and this could help me. I mean, I could be in New York going to a baseball game, and that's why I have my bat in my trunk and someone attacks me and I defend myself.
When you say you're not allowed to sell to New Yorkers, are you not allowed to pitch the service to New Yorkers, or are they not allowed to buy the service? How does that what does that work?
But it can't be offered, so they can't purchase it.
That doesn't make that seems crazy.
For lack of a better term, they are shit out of luck.
Yeah, there are people.
Nuts.
There are people in New York that have CCWs, and outside. I know CCWs are difficult to get in New York, but there are gun owners in New York. And you're saying so? This is not just New York City. This is the whole state of New York.
Whole state, brother. It's crazy.
That is nuts. That they could block you from purchasing. Whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, there should be. There needs to be a lawsuit for that. You should.
That's insane. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, there should be a lawsuit on that front.
So
go ahead.
Where the issue came from is actually that the state of New York hammered the NRA for selling this type of insurance maybe 10 years ago, because the liberal media posed it as murder insurance. But
of course they did.
But the issue that happened was the NRA had people selling insurance that weren't licensed to sell insurance. That you can't do that. But then the media that's how they truly got in trouble.
Yeah.
The media took it that the NRA was selling murder insurance that gun owners could, if they have a gun and they feel threatened, they could shoot you, kill you, and get off the hook for it. Well,
Right.
that we all know that ain't the case. So.
Yeah. I used to be licensed to sell life insurance in New York once upon a
Were you
time.
really?
Yeah. I've had lots of many jobs, man. I'm from the Caribbean.
Clearly.
But yeah, New York is a weird place. I don't even understand why the NRA was still headquartered there. But we're not even getting into that. So if someone wants to bring it up later, we can totally get into it. Someone asked if my son and his girlfriend's, if it was his girlfriend's car, if it hit any other cars. No, it didn't hit any other cars. So yeah, that could have been really bad. I'm really glad, and and thankful to the Lord, and I'm not being facetious about that. I am a very religious person, although I'm very private about all that stuff. Okay, Lola had a question. She said, "Is there any sort of home insurance that actually covers self-defense in the home?"
No, none, and that's why this policy is so much needed. So. Home insurance, you have a liability section of your home insurance policy. Home insurance companies do not extend liability for acts of self-defense, and damn sure, especially in the use of a firearm. And your personal umbrella policy doesn't cover you either. That's why right to bear it really is needed. At first, I thought I guess in researching why would somebody really need it? Nobody mandate, or maybe not then they didn't. But
people, yeah, I mean, people are defending. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I was going to ask what the statistics are. I don't know, because there's a lot of people defending themselves in their home, right?
Oh yeah.
One thing that's interesting there is it also kind of depends on state. How again, I'm not recommending people risk it, but here in Florida, I know for a fact that our castle doctrine home defense laws are extremely strong. If somebody comes breaking into your house, you have a very strong right to do whatever you feel fit to protect yourself. That's Florida, and
that's true.
I only know Florida because that's where we live. But yeah, no, there's other things that
doesn't
can
mean. That's the crazy thing too, but that doesn't mean that they still can't bring suit. They can't. That's
the craziest thing is they can bring civil suit.
They still can bring suit, and you still need an attorney to defend you. And if you want to pay $50,000 out of your own pocket just to have somebody defend you, even though you're in the right, I mean, guys, I know Florida's much different than California, but there are cases where literally people have broken into homes, fallen on broken glass. The intruder sued the homeowner and won.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Those cases make me want to throw those people out of helicopters. That is them and their attorneys.
What kind of jury was they're fine.
Well, I mean, okay, let's all bear in mind that we're living in a country that is allowing people to sue the manufacturers of firearms because of something that a human being decided to do. Yeah, that was not the intention. A human being decides to use a firearm for something that was not the intention of the creation of the firearm or the company, and then they're getting sued. I mean, we're dealing with that, right? So that's just like, us being able to sue the people that make spoons because we get fat, or, cars because someone uses a car to kill people, which happens very often, So, I mean, we're living in that country, and when this kind of stuff is allowed to happen, even in a place like Florida, you could potentially be in a situation, especially if you don't care about voting or politics or paying attention to what's happening. There's things that are getting put in place that when certain people have that ability to start using laws that no one's worried about, because then, this is what happens. Laws get created, and people go, oh, no one's going to use that. Then someone gets into power, and they go, oh yeah, we're going to start using that.
That's the thing that you got to think about is, yes, currently we have DeSantis in power, and he's doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely, I agree.
But it was 51-49 for that crazy dude that took meth. He could have won. It's not far-fetched that we would get a Democrat in power in the next 10 years who could upset the balance of everything. So that's where this is handy. That's another place where this is handy.
You listen, I don't know, man. I'm honestly not trying to sell anyone on anything. I'm just trying to get people to think about some things that could potentially happen to you, and you do want to be prepared for these things before they happen. I think that's what Patrick was saying. Like, well, you have to have car insurance, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have any choice. But accidents, things happen, and you have to be prepared for those things happening. It's like life insurance, and I sold life insurance when I was in New York. I was younger, and I got into it. That's a whole other story. But the thing is that people don't think about that until someone dies. Like, you don't think that your husband or your wife or your kids, for that matter, could die. And when that happens, you're going to have expenses that you have to deal with.
And you don't realize how expensive it is. Jeff, my good friend Jeff's, his wife's grandmother died maybe 6 to 8 months ago. And none of the family is wealthy. So, of course, Jeff and his wife get stuck with the bill. And it was upwards of like $12,000 to get her buried, and it was
easily.
Crazy.
Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
it's very expensive.
Crazy.
When my mom passed, Lola and I had to deal with a lot of the expenses, and I mean, I don't even want to talk about that. But I've had life insurance with me and Lola before we even got married. So I mean, we've been married for 23 years. So it's and I'm glad. It's like, that's not a thing I want to collect on. You know, I don't think there's any amount of money that could replace my wife. But when things happen, there's so many things. Or if something happens to me, there's so many things that Lola's going to have to deal with, and all that to put things to rights. And you can't think about that, you know, when you get really sick. Because guess what happens when you get really sick? The cost of life insurance goes way up.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
that's right. I mean, you're looking at something that, you know, $20 a month, and then to add you and your spouse $25 a month. I mean, golly, you that's a meal.
Yeah.
Right? $25.
Really, if you think, when you
It's coffee. It's coffee in some cases. Yeah, it's a cold brew.
Yeah.
It's a cold brew.
You're protecting. I mean,
dude, with inflation.
You're looking. I mean, you're somebody like my age. I mean, trying to get themselves off to a good start. You know, just got married, want to have a family.
Yeah.
If I don't have this insurance and I have an incident, and I'm stuck with $250,000 in attorney fees and a civil judgment bill, I mean, there goes everything, and they're taking my house, and now I have no retirement, and now I'm basically hitting the freaking reset button on life, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I've been busting my ass for the last 7 years trying to get myself into a good situation financially before I start bringing kids into the world, Lord willing. And
that's Marley and I. That's the same exact position we're in right now. We're to the point now where it's the kids' time, and we have what we need to bring them into the world properly. And I couldn't imagine I protect us. God forbid something happens and I have to protect us with a gun, and then the state comes along and says, well, actually, we're going to take you to court over it because we're not sure if you did anything wrong, so we're going to find out. Also, that's going to cost you a minimum of $250,000.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I'm trying to give people things to think about before things happen. And in our world, we're literally talking about, if you want to equate it to our world, what's a couple of boxes of bullets? Probably that's what we're looking at, you know. The ammo you spend on the range.
Right now, one 50 or 60 round thing of 5.56 would probably cost you that much.
Yeah. So just
there
think
you
about
go.
this. Yeah. Let me see. There's a couple of things going on here. I don't know if Perry hit everything, and we're kind of approaching 8 o'clock, but I think we could stretch this a little bit if we need to, right, Perry?
Yeah.
Hopefully. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to go through. DCG 44 says mistakes happen, but you really can't be letting that mistake happen. Okay.
No, negligent discharges.
The universe
common,
is
yeah.
The universe is crazy. The universe is crazy. We should that negligent thing should not happen. But things happen. So this is the thing about life. So and the way that the world is getting, I feel like this kind of stuff is happening more and more, that people have to defend themselves. I hope to never be in that situation. Like I just said, I hope to never ever collect on a life insurance, because what it's going to mean is that I lost someone that there's nothing that could replace them. So you don't get these things hoping that it happens to you. It's an indemnity against if it ever happens, and so that you could kind of forget about things like we all do. And if something happens, you're like, okay, this is here. And the last thing I was going to say about that is I wound up getting that life insurance, and then I found out that I had Crohn's disease. So, and I think they happen really, really close to each other. And I'm telling you something that
did the price
with Crohn's, it'll be very difficult, because when I found out I had Crohn's, I think now Crohn's disease is looked at in a little bit different of a way. But when I found out I had Crohn's, my doctor said, well, don't worry about it. I mean, people have Crohn's and they live to be 45, 50.
Oh my God.
So, which is, I don't think that's true.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm serious. You can ask Lola. That's what he told me. I was like, what? But listen, I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I tell people, for lots of different reasons, I wasn't even supposed to live this long. So, people who have Crohn's, you're not kicking the bucket at 45 or 50. No. But it used to be a lot worse than it is now.
Yeah.
So let me see if there are any questions in there. Brian Quick says freedom of speech on social media shouldn't cost anyone $41 billion.
Okay, so since we brought up freedom of speech, before Perry has to go, let's talk about Elon Musk. I know he wanted to talk about it.
Well, no, let's do this. Lola has another question that I'm going to get in trouble if we don't hit it.
Okay.
She says there are lots of self-defense policies out there. What makes RTB, I don't know if you guys call it RTB, but right to bear,
Yep, we do.
Different. So what makes it different?
Yeah, so we're a real insurance product. So we found ourselves in a really neat little medium, if you'll call it that. You have USCCA, who offers a real insurance product, but it also includes a lot of training and education, and it's really, really, really good. It's just more expensive. You have US Law Shield that offers the legal defense only, no damages, no choice of an attorney, at a little bit of a less expensive rate, where our policy is going to cover the defense. It's going to give you a choice of an attorney. It's going to cover the civil damages and civil judgments, heaven forbid that ever happens. And you're looking at, when you compare our silver plan with the rest of the competition's silver plan, we're at $235 a year, $20 a month, whereas USCCA's is $40 a month. US Law Shield's already at $12, $13 a month, but they're missing a huge piece of coverage, which I believe to be really important. I'd hate to offer, my product, somebody think they have coverage, they get covered for the attorney fees, they lose in civil court, they're stuck with a $100,000 judgment bill, and they go, all right, well, let's go ahead and get that.
With Arms List, you can shop the extensive list of local and nationwide firearms classified, now with more confidence because of their built-in firewall. For only $6.99 a month for personal use, or $30 a month for business vendors. So when you're in the market, please consider Arms List. We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of great companies like Arms List. Let me just say here, I've had USCCA. I think I got to check with Lola of whether or not I still do, and I have US Law Shield. You guys have options. For my part, I'm trying to let you guys know what the options are and help you make an informed decision here. But I'm sure Perry has a completely different opinion of that.
Come on our way. Our way.
Yeah. Did you want to finish your thought there, Perry? Sorry about that. I missed it again.
No, that was pretty much it. I think the big ask that I have. Go to our website and check us out. Go do some research. We're now starting to show up on Google. Google is not favorable to gun-related new businesses, so it took us about 4 months to show up. So,
okay.
You go to just Google Right to Bear Insurance, got a little Google page, the website's up and going, and just do some research and check us out. Obviously, there's great discounts at PSA with the purchase of our plan. I know all of you are big Hank Strange supporters out there listening, and he gets a a nice little kickback because of it. I know he doesn't want me to mention that, but I'm going to anyway because
No,
that's how he.
No, you could absolutely mention it. I mean,
So
yes.
I mean that's I mean we're all feeding each other here, and at the end of the day, it's all for the greater good of standing up for what we.
I will buy guns with it. I will buy guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's what Marley hates when I say, "Oh, look, the affiliate money came in this month." I'm like,
guns.
"It's going right back to the channel. I'm gonna buy something cool with it."
Yeah.
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 So, so that's the big. That would be the big sell for tonight before we dive quickly into.
And let me say this, Lola,
yeah.
because Lola's putting this in the chat. Anyone that signs up for a policy from this show will receive an additional $40 discount code to PSA. There's a link that Lola has, so that's on top of what you would already get. Yep. So, like in a dagger, I mean, you could probably cut down the price on a dagger.
You're a pretty cheap dagger for $80 off.
Yeah. And then, so then you simply send in an email to Perry. What's that email, Perry?
Yeah, it's perry.orth@Moultrie Insurance. I know Lola has been posting it.
She's been putting it up there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just attention at Hank, and like we talked about, whether you're listening to the show now, 5 months from now, or next week, anybody that is a fan of Hank Strange is going to get that extra discount.
Yeah, Shelly Funga says Hank is the new big guy, you know.
The big guy.
From the Hunter Biden. The big guy has to get his cut. Oh, that's all going to get crazy. But yes, absolutely, there are lots of things that you guys could do. You know, we make sure we disclose all that stuff to you folks out there. But there's things that you could do to benefit yourself. They benefit us as well. Helps us pay for this stuff. I think right now, Lola and I are spending about, I don't know, somewhere, Lola tells me it's like $600 to $800. As much as you guys complain about the internet of the show, I think we're spending somewhere between $600 and $800 for the internet alone.
Still not that great.
Yeah, exactly. And Patrick is like spending, I don't know, what's your thing? It's nowhere near
$80 for
whatever, dude.
Up and down.
Whatever, dude. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so listen, I before Perry goes, do you want to be part of this conversation where we talk about this whole Twitter thing? Because I know Patrick is ready.
Well, Perry mentioned it at the beginning.
I want to dive in for 5 minutes, and I got a kickball game in 20 minutes I got to get to. I'm playing in a grown league kickball game, so I got to go get ready to take on.
Did you just flex muscles on us right there? Is that what?
So.
Oh my god! So. Okay, wow.
So before we get into it, did you see that BlackRock today, or Vanguard Insurance, not insurance, they bought a massive percentage today. Yeah.
Yeah. They're a big investment group. Yeah.
They outstripped Musk as the top investment group in Twitter by like 1.5% or something.
Is Vanguard does Vanguard have some kind of political leaning one way or the other, or they just said, "Oh, this is about to get competitive"?
I bet they do.
Well, I know that I read somewhere that Saudi Arabia was like there's some Saudi holdings, and they said, "Nah, we don't." I guess they have a big controlling stake, and they said, "Yeah, we don't want Musk to buy this out." What's your take on it, Perry?
I would love to see him buy it because correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't dove in deep into the weeds and the details of it yet, but I think he said he wants to take it private. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, perhaps.
So if he does that. Mm-hmm. If he does that, basically he's going to crush the left because that is just a breeding ground. I think it's some crazy stat that's like maybe 70%, 75% of the folks that are on Twitter are lean politically left. I don't know if it's that high, but it's like the left's breeding ground of political leftist socialist frenzy. That if he went and bought, I mean, not that he could take them off, because he's basically he's just wanting to give the free speech, the anti-censorship,
yes,
nobody should be muted and nobody should be taken down or tweets blocked because of what they think and say. When clearly you got a bunch of wackos on one side of the aisle say and do whatever the hell they want,
they want.
You got other people that don't have that same right. You know.
Yeah, and Elon Musk seems to be he seems to be like a center guy, libertarian.
I'd say center.
Yeah, he's not. He's not liberal. Yeah, he's not
calls
super
himself
liberal.
a free speech absolutist.
Yeah, but here's my take. This is what I'm going to say. Okay, first of all, I think Musk is like playing one of the games like what he played with Dogecoin with people.
Possibly.
You know, I think his stake already went up, and if you read that letter where he was trying to buy it, he said, if you guys don't want to do this, then I'm going to be forced to sell it. But he's up high right now. He's up high since he bought in. So if he sells, he could get a lot of money, and he could maybe use that money to do something else. And I think,
want him to. I'm just throwing this out there. I want him to buy YouTube.
Well,
love
YouTube's going to be
it.
expensive. YouTube is way more expensive than Twitter.
In Twitter?
Way.
I don't know about
Dude,
that.
YouTube. More people look at YouTube than look at TV, that look at HBO than anything else.
I want him to buy a big
Anything
stake
else.
in YouTube and fix everything.
Well, here's
so
what I
can
think. Here's what I think. Because, I want to say this while Perry's here, and then you and I will battle this out for the rest of the night. Here's what I think, and Perry, you can tell me, you know, this is a crazy Hank Strange, Nostradamus Strange prediction here. Remember, one of the things that he's created through is Starlink, right? Through launching rockets and putting near-Earth orbit satellites and all that stuff up there. Starlink, it's really going to be tough to shut Musk down. If he buys Twitter and the powers that be, they could shut off those servers to Twitter. What we really need here is something that's completely off the grid, and you can still have servers and all that kind of stuff. And Musk might be the guy to do it. It may not be Twitter, but I would like to see him put some of his thoughts behind this in general, because we need something like this. We need everyone to be heard. So this is what I think is going to happen. The powers that be won't let him get Twitter. Even if he forced his way in, they would still shut him down. But he has the wherewithal to keep a real social media platform that would be fair to everyone going. Now, go for it. What do you guys think? Genius,
Perry
right?
give last word since he's heading out.
Yeah, go ahead, Perry.
I'll second that. I think that you're exactly right. We need that. I think he is such a forward thinker that he's one of those visionaries that sees things before they happen. That's just his gift. So I mean, there's no telling what he's got up his sleeve.
I think he's a problem solver, but he likes to troll people, man. I hope he trolls these guys and gets enough money to kick something like that off.
Yeah, no question, man.
That
would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so go play your, what is this, foosball? What was this thing that you were doing?
Kickball. That's what kickball.
Kickball, there you go. It's the devil.
Kickball.
The kickball is the devil. The foosball. You know where that's from? Have you ever watched Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah, that's Waterboy.
The Waterboy.
Yeah.
That's the devil.
Foosball's the devil.
Yeah. My mama said. No, it was good. It was good having you on, Perry. I appreciate it. We'll have Perry back on again and go kick some butts.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, babyface. B, take care, bro.
All right. See ya.
guys.
Yeah. Okay, that was fun.
That was good.
Yeah. Are you amazed by my brilliance of my prediction? Go ahead. You can tell me. I know I'm amazing. I'm awesome.
It's the thing that I've come to realize that's really sad, and maybe this has been, looking back on it, maybe this is how it's been forever, is oligarchs have always ruled everything. And we're just at that again. Now it's tech oligarchs. It's not the political elites.
It's you know what? That's the
how
statement.
sad is that?
That you're, sometimes you just say brilliant things that, like, you're brilliant.
It's
I don't think
true.
everyone gets it. We're in a sad state of life when we are all excited.
That one oligarch is taking on another oligarch.
Dude! What is wrong with us?
My oligarch is now taking on...
This
and the
is
scary
crazy.
thing the scary thing that a lot of people don't realize is if Musk were to, whenever in his lifetime, bow out of what he runs, those companies are not going to stop existing. Tesla's going to be around for a long time. SpaceX. Look at Twitter. Twitter started out with the best of intentions, and then now look who's running it. We got the Indian guy who doesn't believe free speech should be allowed at all, ever, anywhere. I think there's a lot of people there's a couple of things in there. I think the reason why we're seeing a lot of people doing this and we're
we're losing our rights in America like this because they want to break us. They really can't change the world and make a one world order without breaking America. Can't be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't break America, you don't do it. If America exists and in India, let's say, right, you take over India, or you take over all the rest of the world, right? India is, well, how many billion? There's like at least 1 billion people in India, if not more than that. And but that's not enough, because people can leave and come to America, right? Or what exists in America could spread out to other places. So you got to break Americans first.
Mm-hmm.
But then think about this also, man. Even to us, a lot of us have hated on Musk for a long time. We're like, oh, we don't like that guy. Because he makes electric cars, he must be a liberal tree hugger dude. And he is, by the way. You know,
yes, he is not a conservative. So
yeah, he wants to save he wants to save the planet and all that. Now, I have a Tesla, but I don't have it for the save the planet reason. Look, first of all, man, it's a beautiful planet. I'm living on it. I'm enjoying it. You know, I live out in nature, so don't think that I hate nature either. But you know, I got that thing because I want to see what this tech is, and it's interesting to me, and I want to use it. And I think, hey, we're going to run into a problem where we're going to start getting smacked upside the head by oil prices, which we're living that. If you guys think that the price is going to, even if it goes down, $4 a gallon is the new norm. I'm sorry, people. Get used to that. There's this thing called inflation. So how sad is it that we're in this position as Americans, that we're holding, like, oh, please, please, Lord, let the baby Jesus Elon Musk come in and save our souls. We're screwed.
Oh, wow. So reading through this, I didn't realize, but the Saudi prince is also a massive shareholder in Twitter.
That's who said no, right?
That's who's trying to say no. Yeah. I don't believe that Saudi Prince Al Walid bin Tala Al Saud, a billionaire who is also one of Twitter's largest. Well. Why is he so interested in owning?
Because they want to break us. They want to control us.
Owning the flow of information. This is, people understand, owning the flow of information is the most important thing you can have.
Yeah. The reason why
controlling the flow is the most important.
And we could poo-poo Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, and even a lot of people like, who cares about Twitter? Well, Elon Musk is incredibly powerful on Twitter. And let me remind people of this. As powerful and active as Musk is on Twitter, like, he just dropped what did he drop? Like 10 billion? He
something like that, yeah.
10 billion on Twitter. And he's got, I don't know, how many followers does Musk have? Like 40, 50?
I don't know. I haven't.
Let me see. I'm gonna look at the thing.
I'll look. No, I got better.
Let's remember this though. Let's remember this. Donald J. Trump was about to hit 200 million when Twitter canceled him.
It's true.
Okay. I'm just saying. Just think about this.
There was a really funny article. He's got 81 million followers.
81 million. But Trump was beating him though.
Yes, no, Trump was way above him. There was a hilarious article written by the Washington Post a day or two ago. I don't know if anybody has seen this. Basically saying oligarchs are terrible, selling Twitter to a tech oligarch who's
now
left.
Now Musk, Musk is an evil oligarch. We got to seize his stuff.
You know,
that could happen.
Who owns the Washington Post?
Isn't it what's his name? That
Jeff
guy that's
Bezos.
been it's Bezos, yeah. Who is No, but he's an arch nemesis of Musk. Do you know this?
So it's okay to have them being owned, the free speech being owned by Jeff Bezos. But God forbid Twitter get bought out by Musk.
It's okay for this sheik over in Saudi Arabia to own Twitter.
I don't think that should be. I don't think we should allow foreign.
Now you know why those mullahs over in Iran are still on Twitter.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
What?
Do you know who perpetrated? Never mind. Let's not go.
Yeah,
there.
It's like the other day. Do you remember the other day?
Flew somewhere, and Saudi Arabia was absolutely.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, down in the lines of what you're thinking about there, before you think about that and you get into that, I'm trying to find and then get us in trouble here. Which I mean, honestly, I don't care about.
We're gonna bring the banhammer down.
Yeah, I could give two craps, but I'm trying to find it. I sent you this. And let's see. Here we go. I just want to put this up there from people. This is from Google. Okay. Important notice
we talked,
update. Yeah, important notice update regarding Ukraine. Dear publisher, due to the war in Ukraine, we will pause monetization of content that exploits, dismisses, or condones the war. Please note, we've already been enforcing on claims related to the war in Ukraine when they violated existing policies. For instance, the dangerous derogatory content policy prohibits monetizing content that incites violence or denies tragic events. This update is meant to clarify. I mean, you realize, like, if you read behind the lines here of what's happening, they're basically saying, hey, we're about to start coming down on you if you're doing this. So where is it? Okay. Well, let me just read the last part. This pause includes, but is not limited to, claims that imply victims are responsible for their own tragedy or similar instances of victim blaming, such as claims that Ukraine is committing genocide or deliberately attacking its own citizens. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not really sure who in America is doing that. Maybe is someone in Russia doing it? Why is Google telling content creators this? Like, why am I the enemy all of a sudden? And now they're adding on another policy that they can go, you know what? We heard you talking about Ukraine. We don't like your opinion. Your opinion doesn't agree with us. No soup for you.
I don't like Russia. I'm sure if I met a Russian person, them and I would get along. I've said this many times, and you can go back.
I've seen some very hot Russian chicks, by the way.
First off, yes. Second off, I think Americans and Russians on a basic level are very similar types of people. We both like guns, we like alcohol, we like doing crazy shit. Like on that same level, I think Americans and Russians would get along well. Now, they're politicians, and I can't say our politicians are any better because ours are garbage too. I don't agree with their politicians. But that doesn't mean that you don't have, as an American citizen, or as a citizen of the world, I guess, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to support what they're doing in Ukraine if you choose. If that's what you want to do, then that's on you. But
I'm guessing from what they're saying here that they're okay if you're supporting what's happening in the Ukraine. Which we do.
As long as you're supporting Ukraine.
Yeah,
that's what my point is. If you're supporting Russia, you can't talk about that.
Yeah. Now, and I'm not supporting Russia. I don't think any of us here. I've not heard you. Like, at the end of the day, I think what's happening here with Russia is terrible. It's a terrible sign for the world. I'm glad that Ukraine's fighting back and that people there are realizing that they have to fight back. All of that, but
I support Russians getting a whole bunch of AK-12s collected by Ukrainians, turned into parts kits, and then sold to us to make AKs out of. That's what I support.
Right.
Because I want a goddamn AK-12, okay?
But they're trying to say, like, if we look at this and we have a multi-dimensional opinion of what's happening, oh, no. No multi, you have to, like, we're living in a police state. Yeah, we're living in a police state.
No, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah, Shelly Fungus says Vanguard is the largest seller of mutual funds in the USA, and it's owned by its customers. I think he's saying that they added Twitter for the value.
Yeah, no, because the value is good. The thing that I don't know if people realize, and Jeff, my friend...
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of a DAO, or decentralized autonomous organization like TUSC Crypto. TUSC cryptocurrency is a firearm-friendly e-commerce option for online payment transactions, secured on the blockchain. So when you're in the crypto market, please consider TUSC, TUSC. Yeah, caught again, busted.
Jeff and I were talking again last night about the housing market and how, because they want to buy, him and his wife want to buy, but there's no point in buying a house right now. It's too crazy. And I was like, well, it's going to crash. We talked about how, housing market has to crash. It's probably going to crash harder than it did in 2008. And then we talked a little bit about how Vanguard and BlackRock are massive owners in the housing market. And when this crashes out, people are not only going to lose their asses on being upside down in their home investments, their retirement investments, any of that stuff that is through BlackRock or Vanguard are going to tank.
It's going to be devalued.
Lose a lot.
Yeah, we're definitely. I think
there's nothing I can do about it.
No, I think we're definitely headed for a crash. I think we should have had a crash several years ago. I mean,
when we say crash, I mean course correct. It's a course correction. Things are not where they should be.
Yes. Now, we have to realize that when was the housing market crash that these guys are artificially propped up? Like 2009?
They started it in like 2006, and then I think 2008, 2009 was the worst of it.
Yeah. And Shelly Fungus is saying houses to date are up 19% year to date in the U.S.
That's insane. That's insane. My house is not worth what they claim it's worth. It's just no way. And I hate to be that guy, but if you're positioned right, God, I'm going to sound like a marketing guy, positioning yourself in the market. Marley and I are positioned right where when everything crashes out, we're upgrading. We're going to go from the house we have now, and we're upgrading the hell out of it. I want to go bigger and have a bunch of acreage. And I'm looking at people that are buying houses right now, especially first-time home buyers. Buying houses right now is insane to me. I would never want to buy a home right now. You're gonna be so upside down when it crashes.
Yeah, but I think, first of all, the crash from 2007, whenever that was, it was artificially propped up. Like this whole thing that we're talking about, inflation and printing money, it was happening before that, but after that definitely happened, right? And we came out of that too fast. There wasn't a real course correction in that, like you're saying.
The way the Fed decided to course correct was a Band-Aid. It was printing money to put money in people's pockets so people felt wealthy. Well, that doesn't work in the long term. That's a Band-Aid, and once inflation catches up, you're back to the same problem. And anybody that knows any basic amount of economy, about the economy, will understand that.
Yeah.
You just have to have like a basic understanding of economics, and it makes sense.
But we've got a bigger thing coming at us. So how long can they keep artificially propping that up? Now
they can't. I don't think so.
At some point, I mean, something's going to catch up here. We're going to get hit by some serious inflation. If you think the inflation numbers you're seeing now are big, like I know people like, oh wow, inflation is up really big. I think that's not the real number in my person. But that can't be the real number.
Oh, it's probably higher than
that's not the real number. That's why I'm saying that a lot of things, like you're going to get very used to $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 a gallon gas. That's going to happen. Okay? Everything is going to get really expensive. For the last 2 years that we shut down the world, we have not really actually run into the wall of what happens for that, even though we think we have.
No, we haven't. No, we definitely have not. And when that wall hits us, oh God. It's going to be like that pretty 20-something-year-old finally hitting 40 without kids and going, oh my God, what the fuck am I doing with my life? That's what's going to happen to this country.
Yeah. Shelly Fungus says Florida's on fire price-wise. Also worth noting, homes and land are great assets to own during inflationary times. I think land is the most awesome thing. I think I think owning homes is not a bad thing. I'm not trying to say that. But I think a lot of Americans, unwisely, in my opinion, believe that their biggest asset is their home. No, it's not. Especially because what happened in that crash is a lot of people bought a home for, let's say, and Lola and I lived through that in West Palm Beach. Bought a home for $200,000. Next thing you know, that thing's worth $500,000. Then they're taking out loans on that $500,000.
That's
and then they got caught. Lies. Yeah, then they got caught. Then they lost their jobs.
Your house is not worth $500,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then everything crashes. You lose your job. You have no money. You can't pay for anything, and it spirals. And it's going to happen again if people aren't prepared.
Yeah, I think there's better places that you can put your money and things you could do with your money. But look,
I hate to say it. Guns are a great place to put your money. If you buy right, you can sell right.
There's lots of places. There's lots of places you could put your money. I know people that have gotten into watches and done really well. I know people who've gotten into crypto and done well, or gotten into stock
crypto,
market.
I think stocks and crypto are going to crash out too when that happens, because people are going to be pulling their money out to turn it. They want to go back to liquid, so they'll pull out of all that, which will crash those markets down. But no, I think I don't see a problem with quality hard assets like watches or guns, or as long as it's not electronics and cars, you can do pretty well.
Yeah, the old adage I think reigns true, that you buy low and you sell high, and I think that applies to anything. So that can apply to guns, the stock market, crypto, watches, anything, right? When something is low, You take a risk, you invest in it. It goes up. This is what we saw happen to Bitcoin. Bitcoin hit 70, and I don't know where it's at right now. What is it, like at 50? Someone out there will tell me, because it's been going up the last couple of days, so I don't know.
40K.
It's at 40 right now?
40 right now, yeah.
Oh, okay, so was it down or up? Because I think it went down to like 30 something.
It's currently down.
Okay.
In the last 6 months, it peaked at 67, and that was on November 8th of last year. Peaked at 67, and then it's slowly been crashing to about. It crashed out at 33, and now it's sitting right under 40.
Okay, so last night we were talking about survival, right?
I'm gonna let you go real quick. I gotta be right back.
Okay, so last night we were talking about survival, and we had a ham radio guy on here, Steve of Temporarily Offline, and we also had Grant Tate. Hopefully I got his name right. I don't know. Lola will remind me. He's an author that writes about survival stuff, and one of the things about survival is you always need to be in motion. Right? If things get bad and things are happening, you need to know when to move, right? Sometimes you got to stay, and then you need to know when to move, and you need to be able to change things and go back and forth. And I think that you could be successful. There's people I know that invested in like gold and silver and all that, and then it went up, and they got out of that, but it went up because the stock market crashed. So then they invested in the stock market, and that went up, and they're like, this is not going to necessarily last or whatever. Maybe they got into crypto, and then crypto went up, and they're like, I'm coming out of crypto. Then they went into watches, and watches went up, and they're like, okay, I'm getting out of watches. Yeah, and then even the things that you get into, you need to know, like, is this the right time to get in or out? And always keep moving. Lola says, is Glenn Tate, the author of the 299 Days series. Shelly Fungus says it was a great show last night. So I think that's the key to survival. There's no guaranteed way to know everything. And I do agree, like real estate and all that's incredibly valuable. And when I look at what a lot of the companies are doing, other than buying up a lot of homes, they're actually buying up a lot of farms and stuff like that. So, and if I had the money, when we hit a correction here and things go down, I would get into farmland big time. Because that always intrinsically, we can't create more earth. So, Lola says, who moved my cheese? Yes, Lola, well put there. That's the whole principle of like the show. That's why we call it Who Moved My Freedom, because the Who Moved My Cheese books, if you guys read about it, it's a short story, and I recommend everyone get that book and read it. I try to read it at least once a year or twice a year. I have the audiobook and I listen to it. Basically, imagine yourself mice in a maze, and you think you know where the cheese is, and you get there to that cheese and it's not there. What do? Do you stand there complaining about what happened to the cheese, who moved it, or do you decide to like, okay, I'm going to go find where's the cheese now, right? So that's the thing about, even with freedom, we have to constantly think about that. If you really want to be free, you need to be constantly adapting and thinking about what you're doing. So that's something I think to consider, And let's see, I have no clue what happened to Babyface P and what he's up to. Let's see, let's take some Shelly Fungus says spot on. 42 Chilled says all things can be taken. Yeah, that's right. And the government controlling stuff is picking the winners and losers, and that's why there's so many wealthy people that get into politics, because they get to control. They get to control that. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do while we're waiting on Babyface? I was showing this. Who knows what this is? First of all, what is this out there? Let's see, you amazing gun dudes out there, if you know what this is that I'm rocking, you can tell me right now. And I'm going to see, I got to use some squeezing power to even open this thing. Man, every time I go to open this, okay, there we go. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, this is not the shoulder to try to open. Okay, there we go. My shoulder's kind of messed up. So this is the Henry Survival Rifle. That's what it is. Let's see, can you see it right there? Survival Rifle. AR-7, someone says. Yes. So right here, this is one of the coolest. I mean, Henry makes some cool guns, but I'm a big fan of this. And I think it's something you should have. 22, very good to survive the apocalypse on. I was just showing. Yes, I brought this on.
Yeah, it's a Henry AR-7, right?
Yeah, you have one of these, I think.
I don't. I don't have an AR-7. I have the Foley gun.
Oh, you've got a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
I had this in the van because yesterday I was going to show this when we were talking about survival. Mm-hmm. But it was a good conversation.
Always get distracted.
Yeah, so we got into so much stuff. So I wanted to take this.
Who was on
out.
yesterday?
So Steve of Temporarily Offline. He's a ham radio guy.
Oh, okay.
He was on yesterday, and then also Glenn Tate, who's an author, and he wrote the series. He wrote the series 299 Days. I don't know if you've read that, heard of that, but it's basically like a survival thing. And he wrote that, so
299 Days, book one.
Yeah, I'm putting this all together while we're all hanging out and talking here. So let's see. I think that goes on there. I haven't done this in a little while, but I think, and then you gotta. So the
22 is my survival caliber.
Yeah, so then you got to put this together. Patrick's thing's going to go together a lot quicker than this, but
because mine is the that old oh god, I can't remember what it's called. Where all you do is you just click.
You just fold it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a folding gun.
So there you go. You got to tighten that.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Yeah, then you put this on here and screw that down. I mean, it's not really difficult. The only thing I want to do with this is I want to get a let me see if I can show it here. I want to get a threaded barrel because in a survival situation, we need to do that.
Hold it up to the camera.
Yeah.
Let me see how that is put on.
Well, because the sight is there, but
I could undo that. Bring it over. I could take that sight off, move it back, and thread the barrel. No problem. It would take me 2 hours.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we could do that pretty easy.
Maybe you could do a cool video on that.
Yeah, no, that's the type of stuff that I like. Because that's the type of stuff that I can take in as paid opportunities because there's no receiver. It's just the barrel.
Yeah. So now we're ready to go. Now, if I had a suppressor on this, it would be awesome, right? Because then I could hunt my rabbit or my squirrels or whatever meat I need in quiet. And one of the things you want to do when you're in survival mode is not attract attention to yourself.
Let me see the back of that. Is there any place, just out of curiosity, to make it even cooler, is there any way of fitting a 22 can in there somewhere?
Well, so first of all, you could put at least 2 magazines. Let me see. Yeah, you could put at least 2 magazines in here. So these slots actually hold magazine. Yeah.
If there is a way to get a 22 can attached to that where it's with it, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Am I putting this? Oh, here we go. So you can put 2 magazines in there, so you could have 20 rounds. But yes, I agree with you. It would be cool if you could get more stuff in there. But 22, I mean, a box of like, what are those little boxes? I have some of them. What are they? 500 rounds? Those things are not.
Oh,
big.
the bricks. Yeah, a brick is like 500 rounds, and before everything went crazy, they were super affordable. Yeah. Right now, they're kind of crazy, but I bought. Before everything went nuts, I bought 4 or 5 bricks for $40. No, it couldn't have been that. It was cheaper than that.
Yeah. Where's
it came out to 3 cents a shot. It was super affordable.
Yeah. I think I have one of those bucket of bullets that I haven't even opened yet.
Yeah.
22 is big. 15? Okay, that's not bad.
It looks like I think I paid $15 for a brick. I bought like 5 or 6 of them right before the pandemic. And they're still sitting out there because they never go bad.
Yeah, I freaking over-tightened this thing. There we go, got it. 50 or 500. Yeah, I mean, you could, I think 22 is a good caliber for survival. And it's not like people want to know about the zombies and all that. I think, AR is the best thing for a zombie apocalypse, but for getting food and everything, you want to be whisper quiet. So a 22 and a suppressor, you're probably good so far as getting food. And there's lots of them. I see people saying 1022 and MMP 1522. That's from Shelly Fungus. 42 Chill says BFP has skills. Cruiseman wants a 1022.
I have my 1022.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can grab it long.
Yeah, and
I can
Armin
take
and Axis says, what was it? What did he say? Was the AR-7 a stoner design?
This is my
Was the
1022
AR-7 a
build.
stoner design? Someone will answer that. Was it? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
This is my 1022.
Is that a 1022?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, but that looks like the... What's that other gun you have that looks like
It's
that?
that folding stock. So I bought their Samson makes what they call the B team, and it's the side folding stock, like for the Mini 14. And then I just got a little outer impact red dot on top. Mm-hmm. Or not outer impact. That's a True Glow. It's one of those cheap little True Glow red dots. Mm-hmm. And this thing works perfectly fine.
Yeah.
This is one that I threaded the barrel myself. So it's ready for a suppressor.
Oh, cool.
But
yeah,
nope, this thing shoots great.
Yeah. We should never starve on this planet, man. We got lots of food walking around.
Oh yeah. You should see how many squirrels I got in this neighborhood. I could eat for a long time.
I'm pretty sure I have more squirrels than you. Not that it's a competition.
You got a lot more property, so.
Yeah, but the squirrels here get big, man. I was trying to tell someone that they're big like dogs, and Lolo was like, "Okay, now you're getting crazy." But I'm pretty sure that my friend Rodell was over here and saw a big squirrel that was like the size of a freaking dog. Not like a big, massive dog, but maybe like
small dog.
Yeah, I think like the size of buckshot or something like that. But
no way.
Oh, okay. So that you're saying that's like
no
a
way
fish...
you got a 40-pound squirrel.
That's a fish story.
That's a fish story. Yes.
See, look, this all goes back. This all goes back in here, and then you're good to go. Hold on, I gotta block my face out. No eyes. Okay, I don't know. There we go. Right. So, and then I gotta put this on, and there you go. Ready to go. This is really cool, man. It's ready to go travel.
And they float, by the way. For anybody that didn't know that, those things float.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have a gun you want to show off? Well, you just showed one, so.
Nothing new going on. I'm going to do some testing of the Galil this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be over at your place Saturday night.
Yeah. Saturday? Oh, I won't be. Oh, that's this Saturday. Okay, I won't be here. But
where are you gonna be?
You're good. I am gonna be in Safety Harbor, working.
Oh,
some of
both
us,
of you?
you know. Listen, some of us have to work for a living, babyface.
But
some of us just can't. Yeah. Some of us can't just be playboys every single weekend. You know. Yeah, oh, excuse me, I got to go on a date with my wife this weekend. Yeah. We don't. Some of us don't have those luxuries.
We're gonna be night shooting, so.
Yeah, you and Kyle.
Yep. He's driving down. I think he's coming down to see some family or something. So we're gonna do a night shoot. Yeah. And I asked Jeff again, my friend Jeff, if he wanted to come out next Friday. So we may do another night shoot on Friday.
Okay, as long as you guys have cans.
Shame.
As long as you have suppressors.
Everything's suppressed.
Okay, cool.
It's a shame that you won't be there because you got to try the nods out sometime.
I know
he hooked on him.
Yeah, he was asking me about that, and at the time I wasn't sure, but I've got a bunch of stuff because I'm getting ready to go on the road, and I got stuff that I need to get done. So I need to get episode 3 shot with Walter and the Sprinter van. It's a whole bunch of stuff, and then I think even next weekend I'm supposed to be doing another thing related to that. I'm supposed to be going off and doing that thing in Fort Scott. Anyway, listen. Right here, everyone knows what's in this case.
Oh, God.
Okay.
You're one of a kind that will never be produced again.
You guys know what's in here. Now, I carry this all the time, by the way. This is in my bag. And when I was in Alabama, in Huntsville, a couple of weeks ago, hanging out, I actually took this out of my bag, because I always have this with me, and this is this is my survival thing right here, so I'll just open it. The Who Moved My Freedom podcast is made possible by our partners at 2A Commerce. Veteran-owned and with over 20 years' experience, 2A Commerce is the leader in custom e-commerce and web application development in the shooting sports industry. Clients include major brands such as Guard Dog Body Armor, Sylvan Arms, AccuFire Technologies, The Tactical Games, Warrior Knife Company, and yours truly, Hank Strange. Visit 2A Commerce and support this show by supporting them. Once again, visit the number 2, acommerce.com. Yeah, right. That thing has been smacking me upside the head. Okay, so check it out. So inside of here is my folding Glock, yo. So I was showing this to the ham radio dudes, folding Glock with a loaded 33 round magazine. There you go. I was showing this to the... Here, let's go full screen for a second and show the people out there. Right? 33 round magazine and this Glock 19 folded is what I carry in that case. So I was showing this off to those guys, and they'd never seen one of these, and it was amazing because they were flexing their ham radios on me. So I was like, okay, let me show. And they also they're gun guys too, so they were showing me some cool guns. So I took this. We went out to have breakfast in like a breakfast place out there that was really cool. I took this with me, put it right on the table while we were having breakfast.
And nobody would know.
No, no one knew. No one knew. It's totally cool. Lola said I was embarrassing her or whatever. Hey. I was putting it in my pants pocket. So, mostly I was embarrassing Lola because I have a lack of butt that I've suffered for. That I blame being Indian partly for that. But so, I always have a lot of things in my pockets, but I think you put a folding Glock with 33 rounds in your pocket and you start going pants on the ground.
pretty quick.
Or you got to go real super tight belt. So, I mean, By the way, dudes shouldn't have butts anyway. I don't know.
I have a very nice Cuban butt, so I'm not. I disagree with you completely.
No. Oh, no. A dude should not have...
I have a full...
Butts
Cuban
are for
rumpus.
women. Women should have...
I have a full Cuban rumpus. Marley's very happy with my full Cuban butt.
I personally think dudes should have no ass at all. But,
just so you could be the same?
Right.
We can all be on an even footing here.
It's up to... Everyone's got their preference, I'm sure. People could tell us... Cruiseman says I need an alarm on the timer thing.
You need something to ping us internally.
Yeah, I've got to figure out how to do that. I don't know. There might be a way. I've got to take a thing and look into it. Okay, so we covered Elon Musk predictions and what's going to happen with that. What other stuff is going on, man? What's been getting your ire up? I got to look at our internal chat and see what's been getting you mad the last couple of days.
The ATF has been pissing me off, and there's nothing we can do about it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anything else that I sent over. Let's see. What have we talked about?
Yeah. I know that there are people already trying. We need to block the ATF. We don't want the ATF to have leadership. Thank you very much. So we need to keep blocking those. They've
only ever had one leader that's made it through Congress since. So this has not been the way it's always been. They started confirming ATF leaders in 2006. And they've only had one confirmation that was successful. Because nobody likes the ATF.
Yeah. So, yeah. Man, I don't think we can ever get any politician to actually, dismantle the ATF, but I think keeping them in a state of confusion is always a good thing. They don't need leadership.
No,
they should definitely be defunded. They're totally useless. I'm sorry. All this 100%. gun control nonsense that Biden is talking about, for example. Okay, can you explain to me what happened in the Obama administration when Biden was the vice president, and then of course in the Bush administration before him when the ATF and these administrations allowed guns to go from America to Mexico. Some of those guns came back and killed Americans, yes, and a lot of Mexicans have died over that. Okay, what was up with that? Is someone gonna get
that was the government doing it, and the government can do the government does no wrong because they're
okay. Okay, so what about what was it Biden's was it his daughter-in-law or something like that, or who was it that took Hunter's gun,
threw it in a dumpster?
Yeah, what about that?
That's real safe.
Yeah.
No, they know what they're doing. They did it right. They threw it in the proper dumpster,
Right, and so the ATF going and sorting that out for them, that was okay? And then the
that's
ATF
normal. That's normal for Come on, Hank. Come on.
the ATF allowing. First of all, isn't it illegal for you to be a drug addict and go buy guns? Technically,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
lie in a Form 4473, bad things happen.
Oh, really? Because Hunter's fine.
If I lied on a 4473,
Right. No, they've
bad
arrested
things happen.
dudes. Isn't that what Trump had to? I think that's what. Remember?
Get a couple rappers out for, yeah.
Well, okay. Out of those rappers, I think it was a different thing for Lil Wayne. I think for Kodak Black, it was that he lied, right?
He lied on a 4473, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
If I were
what
Kodak Black, I'd be effing pissed that his son can get away with anything, but
Yeah, I mean, Kodak Black is happy. He's not in jail.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
You know, the president pardoned him. Me and you, we got no chance of that, man. Trump could get elected again, and he's
I would not get a pardon no matter what I did.
He
Ain't
wouldn't get
no
a
way.
pardon. So, someone sent me this, but this is a post from Eric from Iraq Veteran 8888, and they want to know what I think about it. Within the next 10 years, the United States will be invaded. So that's the statement that he put up there. It's on Twitter. We were speaking of Twitter.
I don't think so. I disagree.
You're saying no? Next 10
almost
years?
completely. I disagree almost completely. Unless he has some sort of clever way that he's thinking about invaded, I don't think we'll ever have an onshore invasion of our country. A military, like in a very typical military invasion of our country. I don't see it happening. No, I think the days of Western, even Eastern countries going to war in trenches and battlefields, killing each other, I think those days are pretty much over. I think we're to the days of proxy wars and internet wars, information warfare, things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's more likely.
So let us know what you guys think out there. If you want to know, I'm probably going to side with Patrick on this. And even though I would want to, just for the sake of playing devil's advocate,
Disagree with me.
yeah, no, I don't think we're going to get invaded. Not in that particular way, if that's what he's talking about.
In the traditional sense, no way. Not
Yeah,
gonna happen.
and Eric is
it's
very
not-
smart, by the way. He's very smart, and he made a really good post there, because I think if people get in there and talk about it, I think it's a good subject. I mean, that's a great thing that you want to do in terms of making a post. You want people to get in there and agree and disagree with you. I would disagree that someone's going to try to invade America. I mean, if you look at what's happening right now with Russia and the Ukraine, it's not working out well for Russia trying to invade the Ukraine. There's a lot of Americans here. Not all of them. We got a lot of betas in America. You know, we've got a lot of people that are pacifists and won't defend America and will be happy to become communists, but we'll fight back.
More than happy to go.
Yeah. There's a lot of people here that would fight back. America has the ability, the people of America have the ability to fight back. Are our leaders, I think that I would, if he, elaborated and said, I think our leaders are making America open to invasion, or that's what they want, I would 100% agree with that.
And then if you were to say we were already getting invaded from the southern border,
Yeah.
it's just, I just don't see it as a quote-unquote military invasion. I don't think that would ever happen here. I don't think any country is stupid enough to try that in the States. It's just, that's a suicide mission to send.
Yeah. Brian Quick says,
it won't happen.
Yeah, he says, aren't we being invaded on the southern border? And I think...
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically, yeah, it's right. Coming from someone, I'm an immigrant, but I think that the borders, people need to be, people's borders need to be really secure. I mean, I think Ukraine feels that way right now for sure. And obviously Google agrees with the Ukraine. Did anyone out there see, and this is kind of a little bit off subject, but I think really interesting. I'm not a fan of Sean Hannity. In general, I don't like people named Sean. I think anyone named Sean is evil. That's my personal opinion. I don't really like Sean Hannity, and I don't like Sean.
I can't stand people named Patrick. I really drive me crazy when I
but
meet somebody else with my name.
Yeah, that's an inside joke. But I really don't like Sean Hannity.
I think Hannity is a pushover.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that. There's just something like, I don't know. It's just, he's like old school, man. I think he's worse than, what's the name of the guy? Like, okay, all right, just forget it. We're gonna do it live. What's that guy?
Oh,
again?
oh God, what was his name? Oh God, yeah. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Someone's gonna say Bill. No, that Bill Maher.
Not Bill Maher. Oh God,
Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah,
Bill
I think
O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly was better than Hannity, but it's just something about Hannity that's kind of corny to me, and he reminds me a lot of the Hollywood conservative kind of people and all that.
I actually don't like. I don't think I like hardly any of the Fox News anchors. Actually, now that I think about it, Carlson is the only one that I.
Carlson, he's cool. Yeah, Carlson. I have respect for Carlson actually, and I've been watching him for a long time, for years. Tucker Carlson's been on the news a long time.
God, what's that guy's name?
Yeah. All the cute chicks I can tolerate. I'm okay.
What's her name? The little short thing. Short
Any
stack?
Cute chicks over there? The bigger the legs, the better.
I know
for
she's
me.
like 50. I don't even care. Short stack can come on over.
But
Dana Carino.
So listen, Sean Hannity actually has Sean Penn, and on the show.
I saw that. No, I saw that. Why the F is he talking to Sean Penn, who is a literal communist?
He is, but you know what? It was very interesting. I was actually impressed. I was actually impressed.
Sean Penn should be thrown out of a helicopter.
I was
communist.
I was actually impressed with Hannity and Sean Penn going on there. They don't like each other, and even if did you watch it?
No. I saw the clip. I saw the clip come up, and I was like, I ain't touching it.
I think you should watch it. I think you should watch it and let me know what you think about it. I thought it was very interesting. So they're basically talking about what's happening in the Ukraine. And just to give you some background on Sean Penn, we've talked about him. He was a gun guy. Sean Penn. He had an amazing collection.
His nuts got cut off by his wife, and no woman's
he had,
coming in and upsetting
He had an
my wife.
amazing historical collection of guns. And he was a gun guy, and then because he thought Charlize Theron was going to marry him, he melted those guns down. And he's an actor, but he's been an activist, and I would agree with you, he's at least a socialist. And maybe we can take it further than that.
He went to Venezuela and said how great it was what they had going on. He is a communist.
I've seen all of that, but one thing I will tell you about Sean Penn that I've known before this, but if you look at that thing, this is why I think it's interesting. Sean Penn's not a punk. He's gone to a lot of countries that are at war and risked his life. And he was in the Ukraine while it was getting attacked. And he wasn't like driving around in armored cars or anything like that. I think they shared some footage that he saw. They basically were advised to not drive out of there, so they had to walk out of there while all of this stuff was happening. And he's done that. I look at the news enough to see that Sean Penn has gone to other countries and risked his life while they're at war. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Hannity, but the two of them don't like each other, yet Sean Penn came on Hannity because he wanted to say some things, and he thought, this is the only way.
What did he want to say?
He wanted to support America supporting the Ukrainians and helping them to fight back. And listen to me, Sean Penn, this is interesting, okay? And I'm going to let everyone say what they think about this. Sean Penn, of all people, was saying suggesting that we might want to nuke Russia.
Okay, he's fucking nuts. He is wearing cellophane pants.
No, and here's what he was saying. He said that that there's superpowers that are afraid to do anything about Russia, and what he was saying, the stuff from him being there on the ground in the Ukraine, which you and I are not, and folks out here are not necessarily on the ground there, although I know some people out there have been on the ground of these kinds of things, that what they're doing is really bad and the world needs to do something about it. But a lot of the superpowers are afraid to do anything about it because they're afraid that Russia might, launch nukes or whatever. And he was like, what's the point of being a superpower and having these nukes if you're not willing to do something because another country has this thing and you're willing to let them commit this genocide on people? It was an interesting discussion.
Of our business. Russian people, if they're unhappy with what they got going on for them, they need to stand up and do it on their own.
Yeah,
it's not my business to say I don't like what you're doing, so we're gonna nuke you. And then the other part of this is Sean Penn he has no fears. He can go to his hidey hole bunker with his millions of dollars and screw off for 6 months while the nuclear war happens. I disagree with that completely.
I'm not sure if he has a bunker. Here's why I think it was interesting. I thought it was interesting that both of these people who were very opposite were having a conversation and what they were talking about. And I think that, I agree. We shouldn't be solving all the world's problems, right? We shouldn't be doing that. At the same time, we shouldn't be afraid of doing things about other countries that exist. And maybe this is outside the parameters. Like, he's talking right now just about the Ukraine and what's going on with the Ukraine and Russia. But we shouldn't be afraid to do things just because we're worried what that other country is going to do. So therefore we don't stand up and do anything about it. But we'll be happy to go to a war because, we want to get oil from this place or that place.
Mutually assured destruction.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we have to go nuclear to get rid of Russia. I don't, no, not get rid of Russia. If Putin is a bad guy, I think someone said earlier in the chat, Putin is truly evil. Lots of leaders
so.
right here are truly evil. Yeah, lots of leaders right here are truly
we
evil.
Have that too.
Yes,
100%.
But if there are truly evil people in the world willing to bring the world to the brink, right? America's gone after truly evil people. Was it wrong to go after Osama bin Laden? Was it wrong to go get him?
I don't know what the cost was of going after bin Laden. And, the other thing is bin Laden was an ally for a long time. Mm-hmm. CIA, he was a CIA asset for a long time.
In a way, America created him.
We created him.
Yeah.
We created him, yes.
Yeah. I think sometimes
you killing him, absolutely. If somebody put him in front of me and said, here's a gun, I would have no problem pulling the trigger. Mm-hmm. Not at all. Mm-hmm. There's just, I don't know what the cost was to actually go find him. Right. And we can never know if in an alternate universe, if they hadn't caught him, is he still causing trouble? That sort of thing. So
and then also we do have other bad actors. But you know what? I do believe this. When there are people out there that are actively doing bad, evil things and going after us, or whether it's here in America or outside of America, I think, we can't just not do anything about it. At the same time, I'm not saying that we should spend a whole bunch of money, send a whole bunch of kids over to someplace to die for it or whatever. This is why I tell you I believe in ass missiles, right? And that's a great dream that we could just ass missile everyone. And we might get there. The technology may get there where we could just ass missile an individual like Putin or whatever. But, I think sometimes we got to take out the bad guys, man. We got to go in and take out the bad guys.
I don't know. I don't know if we are the ones that should be doing that.
Don't you think that happens even here in America? Even here in America, we have some bad guys. People know these are bad guys and don't frickin' do anything about it, and then sit around until the bad guys do things that we're like, oh shit, I wish we could wind the clock back on that.
Yeah, they're currently in charge of the country.
I'm not just talking about that. I mean, I think there's some folks out there that we know. That's what a lot of people are asking today about this dude in New York City. Like, hey, you guys knew this guy. There was something wrong with this guy. Where's the FBI on that? While they're out protecting Hunter,
he didn't fit the status.
Yeah. Do you protect Hunter over here and then let this bad guy over here go do stuff? I think you guys let me know what you think. I think there's some bad people and some bad guys. We got to get them sometimes. And I think sometimes it's better to do that. I think that is sometimes better than putting a whole bunch of people over in a place, trying to establish bases there, and just pumping money. Like, look, Afghanistan, man. Look at what we left behind there.
Yeah, it was a shit show. That was a
yeah.
Oh, terrible idea.
Yeah. So there's these things. You gotta think about that. So, I mean. Back in the days, if the village knew that there was a bad guy in that village, what did they do?
Yeah, they should string him up. I still think that applies here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's too complicated for just a yes or no. Should we do whatever? There's too much that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to get our own issues settled first as best we can. Even though I don't think we'll ever agree with the people on the left.
I think the reasons why we do a lot of things is bad. The motivations behind why we do a lot of things is bad. But because the leadership keeps changing, which is relatively a good thing, this is what happens. So it's like a weird situation. Okay, we're going to take this break here, and then we're going to come back and wrap up everything right now.
Sounds good.
We wouldn't be able to keep the Who Moved My Freedom podcast going without the support of manufacturers like Safety Harbor Firearms. SHF is a quintessential family-owned small business, totally representative of the American dream. Safety Harbor Firearms is a Florida-based manufacturer of the compact entry stock and the SHTF 50 upper for an AR-15 lower. Also, SHF happily delivers on your Sten gun parts needs. So don't forget to check out stenparts.com and safetyharborfirearms.com. Okay, so I don't want you guys to think that the folks here don't have opinions. Appalachian Gunrunner says, who decides who's the bad guy?
That's
Fox,
also a problem.
Yeah, does Fox or CNN, maybe the government will tell us? It's sarcasm.
No, I agree there.
Yeah, typically they decide we're the bad guys, which is the weird way that whole goes. So what do we do? What do we do on the planet? I think you said something I 100% agree with. Russia needs to do something about Putin. The people there themselves. Or if that's cool and that's what they want, then they need to live with what happens in the world. You know, how the world deals with Russia because of what Russia's up to. But then again, you know, this could have all been settled already if we didn't frickin' need oil and gas and stuff like that from Russia. You know, I mean, what does North Korea have that we need? Nothing.
That's why they are where they are.
That's why they are starving. And at some point in North Korea, people are going to get hungry enough that they're going to get rid of... is Kim Jong-un even still around? I don't
know what's going on there, who's leading what. Yeah. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't... It's amazing how they've kept them in check for so many years. I think his sister
is like running the show now or something.
I thought so, and she's even worse from what I hear.
Yeah. So interesting. I think it's something to think about. You guys should all look at that Sean Penn, Sean Hannity thing. I think you'll realize why I think we don't need Sean's. You know, don't name your children Sean's anymore. Terrible thing to do. And Armin Axis says we don't get a lot of oil from Russia.
It's very little. It's like less than 8%.
Yeah, America gets like 20% of its oil from Nigeria, and there's other places. We get most of it probably from Saudi Arabia.
The Saudis give us so effing much.
But Europe,
screw us so effing much.
But Europe does though. The Europeans.
That's their problem. Trump warned them about this in 2018, and they fucked off and didn't listen to any of us.
Yeah.
Germany went through and did whatever they wanted. So
and natural gas that I've talked about here until like I've gotten blue in the face.
Of that.
Yeah. But I've talked about that, right? And Europe gets all of that from Russia. So why?
We could supply the entire world so many times over with natural gas, but we won't.
Yeah, a lot of rare earth metals are in Russia. There's a whole bunch of
Ukraine
a lot of stuff
and Russia,
going on.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. A lot of motivations. There's a reason why China is totally fine with Russia going in there and kicking butt. And if actually Russia has a lot of time, even though their army sucks, if they have a lot of time, this whole thing might flip on you guys. Or not you guys listening here, but you know, the whole way this story goes could flip. So, okay, listen. That being said, we do need to wrap it up here and get moving. I think it was fun. Yeah, I have fun here with Perry. Babyface, hopefully you're gonna... I'm trying to encourage you to, you know, to get on board with the right to bear thing. And
No, like I said, Perry and I already met on our own time and talked business, and I was on board with it then. I just need to do it. And having that... Pitching it to yourself in the idea of that's less expensive than one dinner out for the two of us for a whole month is a good way to put it, because then my brain goes, yeah, that's really nothing. That $25 a month is nothing.
Yes. And so, you know, I'll say again here before we completely wrap it up here. You guys, there's going to be links. Lola's put stuff or whatever. You guys can go check it out. And if you do something there, it would help us. When Babyface does this, he'll be doing similar things, and hopefully the same kind of thing. You know, if you're a fan of Babyface, support him by getting involved in some of the things that he's into. You know,
I have a bunch of affiliate links if anybody out there ever wants to. I've had people hit me up before saying, "Hey, I'm about to go spend like $500 on a gun at this place. Do you have an affiliate link?"
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to, and it was awesome because I got like $15 in return.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody out there has that going on, you're gonna go spend some money at Barnauls or PSA, feel free to hit me up. I can always go looking for a link for you.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm trying to, I'm serious about what I'm saying. I want people to help out Babyface.
Yeah.
That encourages him. He gets excited. He's like, oh, man, this is cool. And then he goes and does stuff. So
I guess I will start my pitch early. We
go
do
ahead.
have a lot of stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
I have a P22, a P320 kit that we're going to be building soon. I do have a 1911 frame, and I just bought a whole bunch of parts from Sarco. They're just the cheap.
I saw the 1911 frame. I wish that Walter was here right now.
I ordered a. So I'm actually, funny enough, years ago when Palmetto State Armory clearance out their 1911 frames, I bought 2 of them. When Marley, and then I sold one to Jeff, this friend of mine, Jeff. When Marley went to nursing school, I needed money, and that was one of those quick and easy sales, so I sold mine. But Jeff said that he doesn't plan on using his, so I'm going to buy his back from him, and we're going to use a.
Did he add some inflation costs in there?
I was going to pay him more, and he said, "How about just this price?" Because I felt he sat on it for 6 years. I bought it in 2015.
Oh, okay.
And he sat on it for so long, but no, he gave me a price that was very fair.
Yeah, I mean, you help out Jeff. He helps you out. That's cool. He's a good dude. Yeah. So go ahead and tell the folks where they can go to, how they can support you, how they can communicate.
So lots of stuff coming down the pike. YouTube.com/babyfaceP. Or if you just want to go to simply to babyfaceP.com, that'll take you to my YouTube channel. On Instagram, where I post most of my nonsense, like the jelly butt from last night, that is Instagram is baby_faceP, and that's the letter P. And if you didn't see that post, you should go look at it because it made me giggle like a little kid.
But
go look at my Instagram.
Do I want to see this? Oh my god,
it's very funny. It made me giggle.
Oh no, is this something we could show on?
It's appropriate for the internet.
Am I getting in trouble with Lola for?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so at all. I think it's real funny.
Here, look. This is what my search thing looks like, by the way.
Big boobies and
Maj is in there. That's Maj. I don't know what he's up to.
Maj is in there and big boobies.
Yeah.
Focus. Hey,
okay. Yeah. What was that? I was looking for
baby. Jesus.
Okay, it's not loading right now. Yeah, it's gonna load. Okay, so listen. We're gonna do the outro. We're gonna come back. I'll show it. It should have. Oh, here it goes. Here it's loaded now. Oh my God, what is this? If you can't handle me at my worst, then you sure as hell can't handle me when I'm covered in jam because I'm too slippery. What the hell?
The guy is going. What's he saying?
You'll never catch me. So hold on. So this guy put jelly on his whole upper.
You cannot think too much into it. Just let it wash over you.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is a millennial.
Just let it wash over you.
I don't get it.
My sense of humor will never change in my lifetime. So
I don't.
If you like the nonsense,
I don't know why you always like these weird things.
Oh, they're so funny. They are absolutely so funny. To me. I have a couple more that I'm going to post. I have at least one more for probably tomorrow.
Yeah, if you are young enough to understand where Babyface is coming from,
that is my sense of humor. And
if there's no boobs in it, I don't find it funny.
I love matching up with people who have my same sense of humor because it's a rare thing.
Right. Well, I thought you were talking about. Did you see Rod? You follow
I did,
Rod.
And it was awful. It was awful. It was a picture of Lizzo in a thong walking up.
Where is it? Did he remove it? Oh, here we go.
No, it's on his Facebook.
Yeah. So I thought you were talking about this from Rod Mills.
No. Oh God, no.
Lizzo.
No.
To get on that plane with Lizzo, would you be willing to deal with that? That's a jelly. Isn't that a jelly butt?
What do I get out of it? Am I just taking a plane ride? No, I don't want to go sit behind that.
No, dude, I don't want to get on that plane after Lizzo gets on there.
I don't want. Seat,
come on now. Yeah, at least put some plastic.
Yes, put some pants on.
In that, yeah. Not everybody has a butt to be showing off to the world.
No. No.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Come on. Yes. Anyway, okay, listen, I'm going to run in the end. We're going to come back, and you're doing words of wisdom. So, let me run it now. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. There's no show tomorrow on Friday. We'll be back Monday. I have to get on the road and do stuff this weekend, so we will rip the audio out of this, throw it up on iTunes, Podbean, anywhere that you can get your audio podcast, including you can go to hankstrange.com and download the podcast from there. We are part of the Firearms Radio Network. Patrick, we are over 300,000 downloads.
Wow.
And we're doing,
people actually give a crap what we say.
Yeah, absolutely. People all over the world, including, there's some probably hot Russian chicks listening to us.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm married. I'm sorry. I am married. But listen, if I see some boobies every now and then, I can't complain about that.
Yeah, so we're allowed to look. We're not blind.
Yeah. I'm just looking.
Yeah, we didn't lose our eyeballs. What's your words of wisdom?
Be grateful for what you have, because you never know when you're going to wake up one day with a stomach virus and be shitting yourself constantly. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
Okay, all right. This, once again, his humor has struck. Boom. There you go. All right, guys. We will see you next Monday. Thanks, Babyface Pete. Appreciate it. Big shout out to Perry from Right to Bear. Thanks for coming on. Babyface. Let me hit the buttons right now and do this right. Do this the right way. Here we go. We're out of here. We'll see you guys.